This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, Stuck Between Two Ideologies. I recently engaged in a discussion with two Democrat friends about the deep political divide separating America. It began when I chided them that they didn't believe President Trump didn't act presidential enough for their taste. It was my argument the country had suffered from people acting too presidential, as opposed to moving the country forward, thereby leaving us with a political swamp in Washington, D.C. that stagnated the economy, trade, infrastructure, and just about everything else. It was time to bring in a maverick who understood more about business and getting things done as opposed to being politically correct and bowing to the whims of the mainstream media. This proposition obviously didn't change their perspective of the president. I then contended the Democrats have turned too far to the left and abandoned moderate Democrats in the process. I quoted the January 2019 Gallup poll, which, for the first time, showed there were more liberals in the party. They reluctantly acknowledged this, but countered by saying the Republicans had turned too far to the right, and as such we need more compromise. The Gallup poll disputes this claim, but let's assume this is so. The one thing we agreed on was that the country suffers from a divide among political ideologies, our system of beliefs and values, which are considered diametrically opposite. In a nutshell, I contend the far right believes in the 4 C's, to wit, number 1 is Christianity, a belief in Jesus and acceptance of all religious denominations. Such people are proud and unapologetic of their spiritual beliefs, which they find comforting. Number 2 is capitalism, a belief that a person should be encouraged to excel, to assume risk and responsibility, and if successful, be compensated accordingly, and if a failure, learns and adapts, a sort of evolutionary approach to business. Number 3, we have the Constitution, a belief this is an important document guaranteeing freedoms and an imaginative form of government featuring 3 separate but equal branches, and packaged as a republic, not a democracy. And 4th, we have conservative values, consisting of such things as honoring our forebears and history, citizenship, love of country, meaning patriotism, reverence for family, respect for life, equality, being a good neighbor, lending a helping hand, and so on. And contrary to how Republicans are painted, it most certainly does not include racism. This is what the far right adamantly believes and is willing to defend. My argument thereby becomes, how do you compromise this? The antithesis of this ideology would be the 4 A's. Number 1, anti-Christian. In an April 2019 report, Gallup points out Democrats' membership in churches, synagogues, and mosques has reached a new low. From 1938 to 1999, membership averaged at 70%, but since then it has steadily declined to its current level, dropping from 71% to 48%, a 23-point drop. Number 2, we have anti-capitalism. The Democrats now openly embrace socialism, which requires expanded government control, the creation of government dependencies, also known as master-slave relationships, and a redistribution of the wealth. Thereby, the wealthy are required to pay others who have not earned their way. By creating entitlements, the Democrats are creating an environment whereby people are discouraged from trying harder, working harder, assuming risk, and assuming responsibility for their actions. To me, the spending spree suggested by the Democrats is nothing more than an attempt to buy votes. Number 3, we have the anti-Constitution. The Democrats have made numerous attempts to undermine our governing document as it is perceived as an antiquated encumbrance against the Democrat agenda. This is why they wish to eliminate the Electoral College, change the makeup and stature of the Supreme Court, making it subservient to the executive branch, implement gun control, and other changes to our Bill of Rights. It's all about control, not freedom. From this, one could realistically conclude the Democrats would prefer an autocratic form of government. Their insistence America is a democracy is an attempt to influence those without an education of our form of government. And number 4, the anti-conservative values. According to Gallup polls in 2017 and 2018, liberal positions have led to a sharp decline in morality in the country as we know it today. This is greatly assisted by the entertainment and news media who no longer feel restrained from promoting liberal values and demeaning those of conservatives. Instead, the Democrats have developed a set of moral values diametrically opposed to conservatives in an attempt to redefine history, government, freedoms, and rights. Concepts such as love of country, citizenship, cherishing life, etc. are frowned upon, as Democrats prefer dedication to the party instead. My moderate Democrat friends simply refuse to accept this caricature of their party. Again, I contend the party has changed radically, and this indeed represents the values and beliefs of the new extremist Democrats. But I do not believe older moderate Democrats see it this way. Some have expressed to me in no way do they support socialism. They may not like President Trump, but they hate socialism more. And here is where we see the party begin to fracture. I am betting the moderate Democrats will simply stay away from their voting precincts next year. So, is there a deep divide among ideological lines in the United States? Definitely. The point is, which ideology do you defend? As to my Democrat friends, they are still my friends, and I consider such discussions incredibly important, something we should do more of, not less. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.